Hey, this is Justin Gibbs, Lalakezia on the forums. I just wanted to do a quick how to play Puppet Wars video. The premise behind this game is that these are voodoo puppets in Zoraida's hut, and at night they wake up and kill each other. So the win conditions are that you have a master. We have Seamus and Lady Justice who come in the box set. Your master is like a king in chess. If your master is to die, you have lost the game. And the other win condition is workbenches. You see these colored points on the board. Each player has their own point, their own color, red and green. And if you ever have 0 workbenches, you have lost the game. So let's say, for example, Seamus were to get a puppet over onto Lady Justice's workbench. Let's say it's Punk Zombie, got over here. He could use an action, it's called Mine. Change it over to his color. Lady Justice has 0 workbenches left. She has lost the game. So those are the two ways to lose. Either lose all of your workbenches or lose your master. And if you knock all the other players out, you've won. You see these tokens here, the clear ones, they are neutral workbenches. You can get your puppet onto one of those and use the same action to change it over to your color. And in this manner you have more workbenches, you're less likely to lose. Also, these are spawn points, essentially. When your puppets come onto the board from out of play, they come on from this point. So having one closer to your opponent's base is better. So, in that way you can get board control. And also they increase your hand size. So as you get more board control, you get more card advantage. These darker tokens here are impassable tokens. Your puppets cannot move through them. They cannot go onto them, they have to go around. So in this way, the board creates choke points. So for example, Seamus is standing here, and Lady Justice wants to get by to the neutral workbench behind. She'll have to go around or kill him, which is probably what she'll prefer to do. And those are all of the points on the board. Like I said, these block line of sight, and line of sight is drawn from dot to dot, center to center, like it is in most hex games. Start of the game, you set up your board. It could look like this. It's the most basic board setup, but we also have the pattern book, which actually has 22 different map layouts for 2, 3, and 4 players. So at the start of the game, each master starts in their associated workbench, and each player is going to have 5 cards in their hand, which is 4 plus 1 for each workbench. So as I said, as you get more workbenches, you get more cards. And these cards, by the way, are just a 54-card poker deck with jokers included, but we have much better art and suits that match some of the abilities in the game. Alright, so now both players have their hand, and the turn is composed of 5 rounds. And on one round, what's going to happen is each player looks at the top card of their deck, and they can either decide to keep it and put it face down in front of them, or place it with a card from their hand. So this player, let's say he doesn't like this 11. He could discard it, and instead play the 7 from his hand. Place it face down, and once both players have their cards, or I should say all players have their cards, because you can play it up to 4 players, you flip over. Player with the lowest card gets to go first. In that case, this player has a 6. It's lower than 7. They get to go first. And with that card, they're going to animate a puppet. So Seamus's puppets I set out here. I have Seamus, the Silurid, and the Punk Zombie. And now I have to animate a puppet with an animation requirement, that's this number, equal to or lower than the card that I flipped. I flipped a 6, so I cannot animate the Punk Zombie or the Silurid, so I'm going to animate Seamus. I discard it. When I animate Seamus, I'm going to mark him as exhausted. That just means I've used him, tapped, spent, whatever you want to call it. And then I take his model and I get to make 2 moves and 1 action, and I can make those in any order. I can move twice, 1, 2, and then make an action. I can make an action, then move twice, whatever. So the 2 moves, it's 1 space each move. And his action can be any number of things. So let's say that I'm on a neutral workbench. I could take it over. If I happen to end up next to Lady Justice, I could attack her, whatever. So Seamus is gone. Now the 7, Lady Justice discards the 7 and chooses any puppet with an animation requirement of 7 or lower to animate. So let's say she wants to animate the Death Marshal. And as I said earlier, puppets come out of the friendly workbench. He's standing on it. So he comes out and he goes 1, 2. He makes his action. I mark him as exhausted. The first round is over. I now go on to the second round. I do it again. Each player takes a card, flips it over, and they get to animate a puppet. They mark it as exhausted. They move on. You do 5 animation rounds, and after 5, the turn is over. You get to remove all exhausted tokens from any puppets in play. Discard any cards you no longer want in your hand, draw back up to your maximum hand size, and do it again. You rinse and repeat until either somebody has lost a master or lost all their workbenches. So just rinse and repeat until the game is over.